This is going to be a bit of a shorter episode. So I said that there would be a time skip, and there has definitely been a time skip. And I have started upcycling a couple of the things that we're going to need to make a ship for the end of the game. One is the railgun turrets and power. I would like to get a lot of things in rare if possible. So I've been working on that, and it's definitely a good time if you haven't really gotten to it to start getting some of this research done. Asteroid productivity is a fantastic option. We would like to get the railgun damage up a bit if possible. The laser weapon damage, the physical damage, and the rocket damage up to 12 is probably sufficient. So I've also been kind of breaking down some of the things that are kind of like non-essential. So for instance, like the accumulators, those are not essential for our spaceship. So, and we have quite a bit of the rares anyways. We have epics. We have 1,000 of the epics. So I want to try to funnel all the resources that I can into some of the stuff that matters. Right now, quality modules is a very big portion of that. Inserters, green inserters specifically, is another. We're going to need a lot of these, so I'll probably end up having to run around and collect a bunch of stuff from different planets. I think that I haven't, like, again, I'm fine with everything being rare. We don't have to have legendary. I've got a couple of legendary assembling machines here, which is great, but I have plenty of rares for what we need. The biggest hurdle right now that I'm facing is actually the speed modules. So we're gonna need a lot of these. I have 5 legendaries and I have 48 of the epic, and we're gonna need several hundred. So I set this up a long time ago, and I never really checked back on it. Didn't really pay much attention to it, but I had not been collecting any of the tier 2 modules, so I'm doing that now. Ideally, I would come over here and maybe swap this over to an EM plant. That's not really a big deal. Yeah, so I've also done a couple of things on Novice, taken down some things, and started upcycling some other things. This one is decently new. Now these don't really help us out with damage. They definitely help us out with range though. So again, I'm fine with the epic version. Any legendary is just a bonus. I've spent a lot of time outside of the save in a blueprint, or like a sandbox, just kind of designing a new ship. I wanted to have something kind of new and, well, I mean, new to me, you know, similar kind of format to what we've seen, but there's a couple of extra things that we're going to be doing. Like whenever I was initially thinking about it, I was like, okay, maybe I'll just, you know what, I'll make a small ship, just something that we can beat the game with. And the more I kind of started playing with it and fiddling around with it, I was like, okay, I need X amount of this, and I need some of this, and this is going to line up here. It ended up not being so much of a small ship. It's not a huge ship, but it's definitely going to be quite a bit larger than anything that we've made so far. So that's where I'm at now. We actually have pretty much all of the... Well, I did have all of the modules I would need. Maybe someone just went and picked them up. Nope. Okay, well, anyways. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to take some time to kind of collect some things, pull everything back to Novice that we're going to end up needing. Not much else is going on after that. There's not too much that we really have to do besides start building the ship. So in the next episode, we are definitely going to start working on that. I am nearly done with the kind of ship design. I have a couple of little tweaks here and there that I want to make. And yeah. Oh, I also, like I said, I kind of thought about, like, do I want to just make like a small ship to beat the game, or do I want like an in-game ship? And initially I kind of thought about making both. just kind of like one to beat the game to kind of end the series, and another one maybe afterwards, once I had some time to, really delve into it and kind of fiddle around with different things and make an actual full-on in-game ship. The one that we're going to end up making is kind of in the middle of that. Yes, it's going to carry us to the end of the game, but you could also use it a little bit in the end game, or at least that's what I'm hoping. I've done some testing with it, and it seems pretty sturdy so far. So yeah, we will start working on that in the next episode. And initially I kind of said that it would probably take 2 episodes or a really long episode. Yeah, I think we're going to be making this thing over several episodes. I don't think that it's all going to be 1 or 2 episodes. It's probably going to be at least maybe 3 episodes, because there's some topics that I want to cover whenever it comes to like in-game, because well, I mean, I guess I can go over it now. I've got, some time. So whenever it comes to the Promethium science, we need Promethium asteroid chunks, which only start showing up after the edge of the solar system, after you beat the game. Because once we get to the solar system edge, that's the end. That's the technical, you've now completed the game. But the Promethium chunks don't start until after this. So that's how you would get the kind of in-game science. And that science requires many, many chunks, asteroid chunks. And the asteroid chunks do not stack. They have a stack size of 1. They also don't stack on belts, like with a stack inserter. So you pretty much get 1 for every slot that, an item would be on. So for instance, these 2 together right here, like it's 8 items per tile. So there's a couple of different ways to go about handling that. One is from belt braiding, and belt braiding is the idea that you have an underground belt like this. Not that one. And you would use a similar situation like this, because this is now, both of these belts are going underground, and they are kind of occupying the same belt lane, but you have nearly doubled the amount of space that is being taken up. And the reason why we would do this is because these cargo units that you would have for storage, they are 16 tiles. And the epic version, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, it holds 38 stacks. If the asteroid chunks stacked to any sizable amount, that would be great, but this is 38. Basically, if we had stored the chunks in this unit, we would have 38. But if you do it on a belt, for instance, if you were to, I need a good spot. If you were to take up the same amount of real estate, this would actually be 128, because it is 8 per tile and 16 tiles, so 128. So that's one of the reasons why you do belt braiding, is just utilizing the space the best you can. The other way to go about handling this is to, instead of bringing the asteroid chunks back with you, you would instead take the other portion with you. You would take the quantum processors and the biter eggs with you. So I have opted to do belt braiding and bring the Promethium asteroid chunks back with us, rather than take the biter eggs out. And the reason why is because you kind of need to make a lot of biter eggs all at once, and we are definitely not set up for that at the moment. That would take a bit more time. We haven't even researched the biter captive biter spawners, which is what you would end up using to accomplish that. So yeah, we are going to implement that into our ship design. I've come up with a nice little pattern that will hold, I think it's close to 31,000 chunks in a relatively small space. And yeah, so you can definitely look forward to seeing that. Okay, so that's going to be it for me. I will see you in the next episode when we start crafting our endgame ship. All right, thanks for watching.